Hey guys, welcome to the video and welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, I'm Brian. We're working out in the hog barn today, and we've got this 35 Chevy back here that it's been a month of Sunday since we've touched it. You know, you work on something so long and you kind of get a little bit tired of seeing it every single time you're working in your shop, you know. And I'm not talking about over the course of a month or 2 months, but like 5 years, and you're ready to do something else for at least a few weekends. So we've got that out of our system, and we're back here in the shop. And today we're gonna do some stuff up here. Like we got to put us a carburetor on this. I've got the coil wire unplugged so I could crank it over and get oil pressure. We got to make sure that we've got a little trans fluid in it, maybe another gallon or so. Make sure our oil's good. And yeah, we don't have any wires in the way of anything. We're going to fire this pig up and make it make some racket today. See if we can scare some small children or maybe at least a cat. So let's get right into this thing and make it happen, guys. All right, so well, we've got our transmission fluid from the Harvest King. Super affordable, not going to say cheap. I have it sitting on top of a B&M box, so does that make it any better? I don't know. Then I can't remember if I put zinc additive in this oil or not, so I stopped by and I bought some of the STP. Because I saw Richard Petty advertising for STP back when I was a kid, and you know, you got to use it. He was a race winning dude. So let's throw some of this stuff in the old car and see what we end up with. Right, drink up, little buddy. Oh, that stuff is so thick. We don't blow a main seal out from too much oil pressure out of this little dude when we fire it up. That's gnarly stuff right there. 5.5 weeks for it to run into the engine. I see why people pour this into their oil and mix it all up before they put it in the motor now. That is just crazy thick stuff. Let her all get in there. Kind of let it run down a little bit into the crankcase. We got plenty of other stuff to do. I sure am glad I put that in first, though. Man, that stuff's going to take forever to drain out of there. We'll leave it like that, and hopefully the funnel doesn't fall out because it like wedges into the little fitting there. Oh yeah, that belt. Oh yeah, that's what I was afraid of right there. Oh my goodness, got the camera in one hand, leaking out other stuff over here. Dang it. Don't get it on the exhaust manifold, whatever you do. See what we can do here. Drink up, little buddy. Probably just put, I don't know, a few quarts in it. It's actually showing on the stick already, but you know how transmissions are. This thing, as soon as it fires off, it's gonna fill up everything and be super thirsty. All right, let's crank it. Ooh. Well, this is the situation we're in. Got the starter pulled out. I'm getting ready to crawl underneath here with a light and look at the flywheel and see what kind of stuff we got going on. Here we are. I've grabbed a hold of this thing a couple of times to turn it to try to get it to a better spot, but it looks like starter may be too far away. Oh man, I remember this being a lot easier when this car was on the lift. Yeah, we brought Sam in. He doesn't like to be on camera very often. You can tell he's got his bandit mask on, so he's kind of kind of shy about the old camera. He just really wants a biscuit. All right, so we did go down to the O'Reilly's and bought us a new starter. And I don't know if I'm even going to put it on there. It came with shims, so I don't know how many of you know. These are what starter shims look like. And you don't have to drop the starter to put these in. You just take out the back bolt or the outside bolt and loosen the inside bolt. You can slide these in, spin them around, and then put that bolt back up through there. And, you know, that's a pretty thick shim pack. But I took this starter last night and we put that piece of sheet metal on the far outside, so that should have rolled it in, I would think, as far as you can make it go. But we're going to play with this thing a while today and see if we can get it to crank the engine over and not make weird noises. And well, you know, it's a big step in the project when you start putting gas in, right? Because it's got to have gas in it to run. So, yeah, this is the second can, by the way. We're giving her the good stuff today. Getting the non-ethanol. It actually smells like gasoline rather than that fake half corn stuff or whatever. So hopefully this will be enough. We can get some fuel up to our carburetor and make this thing actually start to run. I did hook the fuel lines up, which I hadn't done yet. I still haven't put that last piece of rubber line in, so I got to connect from the carb just to right here. So I've got it all the way up there. I figure we'll end up with an inline filter in here, but I don't have one right now. This carburetor's kind of a so it's not going to hurt my feelings if we end up tearing it all down and redoing stuff. But I think next thing is to put some air pressure back there, try to get gas up here, hook up that last bit of line, and bump the key. Well, all right, you can see I got my big old looped up fuel line over there hooked up. I'm lacking one plug on a vacuum line like an idiot, so I'm gonna have to dig that up, but I want to hear it run. I think the starter sounds a whole lot better. You guys haven't even heard that yet, so listen to this. Yeah. That's what you're after, right? A little zoom, zoom, boom, boom. Give it a little gasoline, try to get some off in the carburetor, maybe. Let's see what that'll do for us. Not a whole lot. It's hard to do all this with one hand. Hello. Oh, hell. Yeah! Oh yeah, you heard it. We just got to do some little bit of moving around on some stuff. The distributor's flopping loose. I noticed this isn't even tight right here, so yeah. And we may end up pulling a carburetor off the old C10, bringing it over here, because this just doesn't seem to be conducive to running. Yep, it's running. Ignore the oil pressure gauge, Woody. It's hooked up under the hood. got the feed wire is back feeding the coil, so when you turn the key off, she keeps running. Gotta fix that, but I know what's going on. Man, what a cool day. Actually get the old thing idling up, running, break the cam in, get it hot enough that it run a bunch of coolant out of it. That's the way it's supposed to go when you first start one, right? Had to spend a half a day going and getting a starter and changing that out and farting around with this thing, trying to make it work. And apparently it's just not going to, because I did not buy a high dollar starter. I bought the cheapest one that they had at the O'Reilly's and bolted it in with no shims, and the thing doesn't make noise when it cranks. It sounds good, and it starts the engine. Now I cranked the timing way in it, and it'll still turn it over. So that's what we were kind of looking for. I am so glad to get it running, and now yeah, back to it, I guess, sucker. We got a lot more to do. This is just one of those steps, and I know it's something that everybody's waited on. So thanks for watching the video. Drop me a comment. Tell me what you think of my first fire up here, and we'll get back with you another time. So did a bunch of talking in my video about shimming and everything on these starters. This is what everybody's kind of talking about, is the relationship between the starter and the ring gear on your flex plate or your flywheel, depending on what you're dealing with. And then they're showing an 1/8 inch gap here, or yeah, they're showing an 1/8 inch gap, but they also show you right up here. So they have shims tell you how to do all this, but I can say my record is still good. I did not need any shims on this starter, and I've never had to put them in there. But lots of stuff on the internet says you have to. And then this is an example of a starter bolt. That little knurled section up there is designed to like hold everything tight. It kind of swedges its way into the starter and the block so the starter can't move around. And then you got braces on the back of the starter. All that stuff needs to be used to have trouble-free operation for years. All right, so here we are inside. I've got the itchy stuff all cut out, and a good part of a gallon of resin here made up with the proper amount of hardener. So got us a brush. We're just gonna brush us on a good coating of this, and hey, we'll see what happens here. Yeah, more better. Help, the battery died. So you can see I've made almost a third of a gallon there, and she's all gone. You can see the fur on the gloves. Witness to the amount of fiberglassing that we just did here. And we took this thing and just kind of laid that glass on there. We'll let that set up, and that should keep this thing in place, keep it curved like that. I do have a little cleanup to do on my paint here. That's not bad considering I didn't even mask that part off. I masked the floor off. That doesn't even matter. It's getting covered up. I do see one furry spot up here. I don't know if we can, oh yeah, it's still liquid enough. We can layer down, kind of smooth out a few of these little pieces that are sticking up, but can't do very much. It's pretty much done doing its fiberglass thing. that was all the resin I had. So I have to go buy some more and then do the other side over here, because we haven't even touched it yet. It's just still in that pressed in, cut up fiberboard. This side's a lot cooler. Getting all them cuts filled in and everything. Yep. So this video, hey, we made this thing start and run. Broke the cam in. Now I got to pull the valve covers off, run the valves, and I noticed one of the valve covers is leaking oil. But forward progress, folks, forward progress. We're getting ready for some warmer weather. That's why I'm putting this fiberglass on now. I want to get this crap on here so it can be dry, so I can move on. Got a long ways to go and a short time to get there, right? So I appreciate you guys watching, subscribing. We're going to keep pushing content out, and hopefully it won't be a whole lot more of this fiberglass work. Got a couple of different projects coming on the channel. The rocking or glider tailgate bench is coming back finished. And we got a little build of a truck going on. Like not a old C10, but a newer truck. Something we can clean up and maybe sell. I don't know. We might keep it. Heck, it's a nice old truck. So, appreciate you guys watching. We'll catch you on the next video.